building a better Bay Area for a safe and secure future. This is ABC7 News.
Even with a vaccine on the horizon now, this is California's darkest day so far. 220 lives lost to coronavirus in 24 hours. Never before has the pandemic taken so many lives so quickly. Roughly 9 every hour, 1 person every 7 minutes.
You know, that's a loved one, that's a family member, that's a brother or a sister or a mother.
And it may only get worse. The number of ICU patients has set a record every single day for a week, and the beds left available are dwindling. Good evening, I'm Amma Dates.
And I'm Dan Ashley. Thank you for joining us. Among the grim reality of the pandemic today, our brightest beacon of hope yet. The FDA Advisory Committee recommended the Pfizer vaccine be given emergency authorization, voting 17-4 that the benefits outweigh the risks. FedEx will be in charge of distributing the vaccine to the West. UPS will handle those chores in the East. ABC7 News reporter Chris Reyes listened to the FDA hearing all day long today. Chris, what's next?
Good evening, Dan. I did. It was a long one. First, Pfizer and many others will be celebrating this very significant recommendation after a rigorous 9 hours of questions and deliberation. This panel's yes vote isn't the final FDA seal of approval, but it is a crucial step in that direction.
Based on the totality of scientific evidence available, do the benefits of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine outweigh its risks for use in individuals 16 years of age and older?
17 said yes, 4 no, and 1 abstained.
So we do have a favorable vote, and that concludes this portion of the meeting.
And we will take what we've heard today into consideration when deciding on not only the EUA issuance here, but also how to move on.
The vote happened after more than 8 hours, where the 23-member panel made up of the world's leading independent scientists and healthcare experts raised their questions and concerns.
Because the stakes are so high, I think having an outside group look and ask hard questions of not only of Pfizer, but of the FDA, and get those questions answered, that seems to me to be a smart thing.
Pfizer's executive team led the presentations and answered questions about their vaccine and its lightning speed development.
We were able to enroll over 40,000 participants in a record 6 weeks, give them each 2 doses of vaccine, and ensure their safety while conducting the trial with strict compliance and uncompromising quality.
The main concerns raised by the panel, possible allergic reactions to the vaccine, and Pfizer's plans to monitor those who get vaccinated for possible side effects. While the committee's yes vote is not the final seal of approval, their green light does make a huge difference.
I think they'll probably take a couple of days to review the committee's report and review their own data. There'll probably be an internal FDA committee meeting. And so I would expect that we're going to hear a final verdict within a couple of days.
And also working in Pfizer's favor today, the New England Journal of Medicine published the company's study that concluded their 2-dose vaccine is 95% effective in protecting against COVID-19. Now we expect to hear the FDA's final decision in a matter of days. Dan?
Chris, take a moment if you can and break down the committee's votes for us. Who voted no?
Well, among the no votes, the dean of Chicago Medical School, a director at the National Institute of Health, a doctor with U.S. Public Health Services, and a professor at the University of Michigan. And no doubt we will hear more in the days ahead about their concerns. Chris Reyes for ABC7 News.
That will be interesting, Chris. We want to know exactly why they felt that way. Thank you. Some people are apprehensive about the vaccine, but not Dr. Alok Patel, part of the ABC7 vaccine team. He spoke live with our Larry Beal on ABC7 News at 4.
Would you take the vaccine as a frontline worker?
Absolutely, Larry. I mean, I'll take it on live television. The minute it's approved, my colleagues are taking it. We'll have the nation's experts recommending it. When we get to that point, absolutely.
Now, we're dedicating next week to bring you in-depth coverage of the vaccine. Our team of reporters and medical experts, including Dr. Patel, who you just heard from, will answer the big questions from safety to distribution to side effects and much more. And Monday night at 10, a special edition of 2020, The Shot, Race for the Vaccine. It will cover the safety, access, and timing of the vaccine. Be sure to download our ABC7 News app as well and enable the push alerts. Whenever you need it, we'll update you right there on your phone.
We are urgently in need of help to slow the spread of coronavirus. Today, California reported a record number of deaths, eclipsing the previous record set 4 months ago during our summer surge. The number of patients sick enough to be in the ICU set a record for the 7th straight day, and hospitalizations overall are at record high levels. ICU availability in the Bay Area region, shown on this map, is dropping precipitously from 25% Monday to less than 18% today. If it drops below 15%, all of these 11 counties will have to enact the state's new regional stay-at-home order. More than half already have. Sonoma just announced it will start Saturday, and Monterey will start Sunday. That order limits restaurants to takeout and delivery service. No more indoor or outdoor dining. Some restaurant owners say they're being unfairly targeted. ABC7 News reporter Chris Wynn found some varied responses in the Bay Area.
In downtown Los Altos, a change of plans as employees at the Post began moving their furniture back inside.
It's been hard these last couple weeks to try and anticipate what to do.
Victoria Breslin was planning to reopen for outdoor dining this afternoon in defiance of the health order to help keep paying her staff. But word got out, and she was contacted by local officials about the consequences that she could face, including the possibility of losing her liquor license.
I was definitely willing to pay fines and even potentially be arrested.
The county released a statement saying, in part, the safety measures are not optional and businesses have a legal obligation to comply with all directives. The county will take further action as necessary to bring businesses into compliance. Breslin isn't alone in her frustration, as some restaurants push back on the state's insistence that outdoor dining is too dangerous at this point in the pandemic. In Danville, Rodney Worth is looking at reopening his outdoor patio at the Peasant and the Pear, saying he has nothing left to lose.
Just losing money hand over fist. It's a juggling act. You don't know what we're going to do one day to the other.
In Campbell, Sushi Confidential is complying with the rules, but called out Governor Gavin Newsom by naming a sushi platter in his honor, bringing attention to his recent outing at the French Laundry. Back at the Post, Breslin says she's considering legal action against the county and will stay open for takeout as long as she can.
Why are we being held accountable and why are we being the scapegoat? So it's just really important to stand up, and I'm going to continue to do it however I can.
Restaurant owners fighting back, all in their own ways. Chris Wynn, ABC7 News.
The DMV is suspending behind-the-wheel driving tests for at least 2 weeks starting on Monday. Officials say having an examiner inside a vehicle with a driver just isn't safe with the current surge in COVID-19 cases. Customers with scheduled appointments in the next 2 weeks will be notified, and the DMV will automatically reschedule the tests at a later date. California public health officials are urging folks to start using CA Notify. That's a free and voluntary smartphone-based COVID-19 exposure notification tool we've been talking about. It launched this week. Apple users can opt in on their mobile devices by enabling exposure notifications in the settings. Android phone users can download the CA Notify app from the Google Play Store. People who test positive can enter a code supplied by the state into CA Notify, which alerts others that they're infectious.
Technology is the way forward for these kind of things, right? Like, I do believe these kind of apps can have an impact. So, yeah, let's see.
Officials say the app uses Bluetooth wireless signals to detect when two phones are within 6 feet of each other for at least 15 minutes. We are told there is no tracking of this. A Silicon Valley energy company is expanding COVID test lab capacity in the hopes that it could speed up the return of businesses and get schools back operating normally. ABC7 News reporter David Louie gives you the first look inside Bloom Energy's new lab and the impact it hopes to achieve across the region.
This $1.5 million laboratory represents a unique private-public partnership to add virus testing capability in the Bay Area.
This economy simply cannot wait for months to get back. So we think it's really essential.
Even with the promise of vaccines, Bloom Energy believes this lab will accelerate the ability for Bay Area companies, schools, and universities to return to normal. Using a system developed by the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, it can process 10,000 tests per day with same-day results using a proprietary saliva test.
Every private citizen, every private organization needs to step in and say, How can I help?
The University of Illinois system has been doing routine testing on its campus of 50,000 with 1 million tests performed.
I like to think of crushing this virus. You don't just watch it and monitor it, but you have to step in to make sure that it doesn't transmit. And that's where minutes count.
Bloom Energy is inviting CEOs across the region to take advantage of its lab. The projected cost is $35 per test. El Camino Health is a partner, bringing its clinical and diagnostic skills to the effort.
The earlier you can identify a positive case, the earlier you can intervene and quarantine and stop the spread of the virus.
For every 6 tests performed, 1 will be donated to Gardner Health Services, which is trying to reduce double-digit infection rates in East San Jose. Each Wednesday, it has the capacity to test 1,000 patients, but it could only do 743 yesterday due to limited county lab capacity. It turned away 96 patients whose unknown status could spread COVID-19. Bloom Energy's website has more details for employers and schools. David Louie, ABC7 News.
It's a time to celebrate. Hanukkah begins tonight, and like all holidays in the pandemic, traditions are taking on a new look.
I'm Spencer Christian. It's turning cooler. It's going to get wetter. It seems almost like winter. I'll have the AccuWeather forecast.
I'm Dan Noyes. There is fallout from an I-Team report. East Bay Park staff stopped shooting cats. I'll explain.